lovely orchids. How are you doing? I just wanted to, say hi to everyone. And I know it's been a while since I don't directly say hi to everyone here. And I just wanted to talk today about forgiveness because it seems like when it's Forgiveness Friday, it seems like since I haven't really, shared and explained what forgiveness really is to me, it might be misinterpreted. And, I understand. So I wanted to talk about forgiveness, even though it's Tuesday. and yeah, so hi everyone, and I call you Orchids, and I got a reply from one of my newsletter. I hope you're signed up already because I'm gonna be sending a free video series for everyone on my list. But they were like, my name is not Orchid, and the reason why I like to call you guys Orchids is because I see us as highly sensitive, people. We're actually orchids, and sometimes we're not better or worse than anyone else. We're just orchids. We just need different care, just like orchids. We're not dandelions, like where everyone can thrive in all kinds of environments. We actually need to have self-care, right? Like orchids need special amount of water, sunlight, and care. So that's why I sometimes call you guys orchids. Anyways, so we're going to talk about forgiveness. And my uh, definition of forgiveness, and why do we need to forgive, and what does it mean really, and why can we can't afford to not forgive because it will keep us stuck. And also I'm gonna talk about, tomorrow I'm gonna do a live stream too, and that's gonna be on my Facebook page, but I put the invite here too if you want to join, on tips on how to survive Thanksgiving, right? And I'm also gonna do a webinar in December on how to survive the holidays. But for tomorrow, since Thanksgiving is right there, I'm gonna talk about how to be assertive and how to, deal with family interactions and things like that. So, what is forgiveness? And I had to redefine forgiveness for myself because otherwise I wouldn't be able to forgive, right? So forgiveness does not mean that you accept what people did to you. If they hurt you or that it was wrong, it does not mean you accept it. It doesn't mean they have a past. It doesn't mean that you're just gonna brush it off and let it go. It does not mean that. It does not mean that you need to go and ask for forgiveness to the person. It does not mean that the person needs to come to you and ask you to forgive them. Forgiveness, the redefined definition of forgiveness for me, is that it's not about the others. It's not about anyone else. It's just about for you to let go, to reclaim your power, and letting go of the need to be understood, to explain yourself, letting go of that need of they have to understand where I'm coming from or that they wronged me. But it's kind of like accepting the other person's otherness in their life. They are where they are, and it's their journey, it's their life journey. They will have to face their own life and their own decisions, and it's their life. And it's basically letting go of making it anything about whoever hurt you. It's just redefining forgiveness is just reclaiming your power and letting go of the need to be understood. So why do we need to forgive? So we stop repeating it, right? So we stop attracting people, places, and events that make it happen again, right? That's why we need to forgive, so we stop recreating unconsciously the same scenarios, and we can focus on learning the lesson. Okay, what was the lesson? What can I learn from what happened, so I don't ever relate to people like this in my life. I don't allow people like this in my life, and protect myself. And it's also essential so we don't suppress or repress, because the dangers of this is that if we repress, we're going to send it to the unconscious as unresolved, and it's going to try to be resolved and keep showing up, manifesting, and we don't want that, right? We already went through the trauma, and of course we don't do it intentionally. That's why we need to be aware of this, so we stop recreating the trauma, because I did this in my life, and it's the cruelest thing we can do to ourselves. We already hurt once, we don't want to do it again, right? And suppressing, because emotional pain has to go somewhere. If you don't acknowledge it, it might even go to your body, and that's why you get stressed and palpitations, or your stomach burns, or it goes to your organs, and that's the other danger. That's what we need to forget, so we stop carrying this weight, this heaviness, and stop and holding the grip of something where we were wrong, and just start to like release it, right? And why do we stay stuck if we don't forgive is we think we're punishing the person, but really we're just punishing ourselves. The other person might not even be aware of their unawareness, and we are punishing ourselves. So it's like holding this energy, a weight, and we don't need that. We need to release it. And it is okay, it is safe for you to be angry for what happened, for what was done to you. Give yourself the space to feel the outrage. It is safe. Just what matters is what you do with your feelings, right? If you transform them, how are you going to release them? And you can do it in a healthy way. And I'm going to give you some tips, right? To honor your anger, your outrage, if that's where you are, and I understand. Because of things that are done to us, that's part of forgiveness, is acknowledging that you're not accepting it, and you're not going to allow it to happen again. So create a space. If whatever you're feeling is anger, for example, what you can do is put a chair next to you and imagine that that person is there, and tell them everything. Get it out, speak it. Imagine that they're there, and if you need support and you feel like it's going to be too much for you to do it alone, I understand. You might have a trusted person who holds your hand on the other side, and just say everything that was done to you. Get it out of your chest. I've also found that it helped me to journal everything that happened, because with time we tend to forget. So this was wrong, and this is how it made me feel, and just journaling it. If, and I've done this, if the person is willing to talk to you, because it's like a relationship, you're bound to interact or something, or they actually want to make things better. And I recently did this, and what I found is that when you're gonna tell them what they did wrong to you, for example, or the things they did were wrong, be prepared, and you can even rehearse ahead of time and write down what matters to you, what needs to be said. But be aware that expressing whatever they did, you're gonna release out of outcome. You're not gonna condition them to acknowledge that it was wrong. You don't need their approval. You don't need to accept what they did was wrong. You have to go in awareness that the liberation is in expressing, just expressing it, putting it out there, and not to change the person, because we can't change others. We can't force them to be awakened, right? To understand. But the liberation to you is in expressing it, right? And be cognizant of how you're going to express it, because you can't say to the person, I would like you to blah blah blah, and you know, they can say no, and you don't need them to accept your conditions. And if they don't accept your conditions and your boundaries, you have the freedom to say that I can't have you in my life, right? Instead of going and talking to them and telling them, I need you to do this. So that's not a good place to come from. You don't need them to do anything. You can take care of yourself. You don't need their approval, their acceptance, their validation, their forgiveness, nothing. So that's why you have to be cognizant of your wording too. You don't need them. You can parent your inner child. You can take care of your inner child, and you're watching over your inner child. So you don't need anyone else to do it. You're going to do it yourself. It's like self-validation. And yeah, that's a good way to honor your anger and know that you have the right to be angry, and it could take time, it could take months, and there's not a timeline, deadline, or anything. You just honor it, and if that's where you are, honor it. And forgiveness really is just a byproduct that when you set the intention, the universe or the divine or whatever you believe in will make it happen. But it's just a byproduct. It's not something that you can force, because it's a process like digestion. You can't force it. It has to be processed, right? So I hope this was helpful in explaining forgiveness. And don't forget that I'm going to be releasing a new video series this Monday. And it's, don't forget to sign up, because you need to be signed up to get access to it. But I'm going to share everything that has worked for me to get past the emotional pain. In this free video series, I want to share everything that has worked for me, and it's going to be explained step by step and how you can take action so you can implement immediately. And I'm even going to give you a workbook so you can, you know, journal and take action and do some introspection too. So I hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday, and I'll see you on hopefully in the next video for Thanksgiving tips. Have a great day.